Testing, testing. Hey, hey. I'm Michael Paul Lane, and this is episode 2. Well, I finally arrived in Florida. Thank you to everyone who took the time to watch the very first video. If you saw, I was in Austin, Texas, where it was snowing on my very last day before I left. Forgive all the cuts. I'm just trying to remove the boring parts as much as possible to make it as easy for you. So let me know if it's annoying. On the last episode, I made a comment about what I was doing during quarantine was trying to spend a little more time listening and instead of speaking as much. I guess I kind of have been a talker when I was younger. I think that's pretty normal. As I've gotten older, I've learned to maybe spend a little more time just listening and hearing is a little bit more. I grow personally from that. And it also helps my relationships a lot more. I know that we're supposed to speak up all the time, and that is kind of technically what I'm doing now by trying to spark these conversations. But I actually pride myself on the listening part quite a bit. I mean, as I've gotten older, I feel like that's become extremely valuable. I think people find it respectful. You learn a lot more if you're actually taking the time to listen to people. And in a way, I think listening is a form of presence. And that's what we're ultimately probably all seeking in a way is some sort of calmness and presence in our life. And it can be very interesting practice because I know it's very hard to do. We have so much going on in our brains. Everybody has a lot to say. Everybody has a lot going on. I think this quote is pretty famous. You'll hear it in a lot of different circles. It's called power in the pause. There's a lot of power in a pause. And you'll see that in all sorts of things like music and speeches. You see somebody, stop talking for a little bit. Acting, it's a really big deal. I remember when I was in LA taking acting classes, they call it a beat. Take a beat. I mean, there was even some acting classes where you have no words and they want you to just use emotion, your eyes, that sort of stuff to kind of create conversation and dialect between another person or with the audience in general. We as humans can have a lot of power not talking. And I know that sounds kind of weird because we think that our power is our words, but our words are probably our weakest form of communication. I think most people understand that nowadays. We're starting to learn that. Like, you can never fully explain anything. Like, try to explain a picture, try to explain a vacation that you took or an experience that you had, and you're always just going to go, you just don't get it. And it's true. When it comes to a lot of these things, a lot of these subjects that I'm going to be talking about, some of this stuff, you're just going to have to experience it, to learn it, and to understand it, and to come up with your own answer. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I think that that's just how it is. And that's maybe something that I feel like I have a lot of experience with. Because I was looking for these answers for so long, I just spent the last 18 years going through everything. I tried to experience everything. I'm talking the most spiritual things you could think of, meditating in temples in Thailand and studying Buddhism all the way to, partying and doing bottle service and having those like drug nights and hallucinogenics and just seeking in so many different directions. It's interesting how I've come to more of a neutral place as I've gotten older, but I still find those moments to be somewhat interesting. I think life was kind of, at least for me, about experiences. Like, I think that's maybe just what it was for me, is to just try to experience as much as possible, as many people, as many conversations and places and things like that as I can. And that's kind of what I'm doing. That's why I'm in Florida. That's why I've been in Texas. And I was in Montana last year, California before that. I've just been traveling a lot and moving around. And also that's why I figured I should start doing these videos. I'm traveling around so much and I want to stay connected as much as possible. I know it's, maybe a little bit late, but I don't really care about that. That the point is I want to connect with people, want to share as much as possible as I keep traveling. I just think there's a lot of cool things that I can talk about. If you want me to talk about a specific subject, like I said, send me an email, a DM, anything you want. You can find me on social media. That's Michael Paul Lane. Subscribe if you want to here on YouTube or on any platform. And if you want a little more about me, this is my brand. It's called QIAROSKURO. I'll talk more about it later. It's a small brand that I'm starting to just try to have some products. A lot of it's going to be a little bit media related to connect with people, connect with the younger generation, and to specifically talk about the subject of darkness and that sort of thing. So check it out if you want to. It's QIAROSKURO.com. I'll make sure I'll leave links below, that sort of stuff. So you guys have a great week. Stay tuned, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.